calling all members of the in crowd. If you want to get in on the action, we want to hear from you. Hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com, or slide in our DMs on IG at FadeRoutePodcast, or drop us a line on X at FadeRouteDNZ. You can find us on Facebook, The Fade Route with DNZ. We're on Spreaker. We're on YouTube, The Fade Route with DNZ. Catch our videos. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and spread the word. Coming at you from the Hey Yo Studios, it's the Fade Route with DNZ. Here are your hosts, D and Z.
Coming at you live from the Ayo Studio.
Ayo.
It's the Fade Route with D and Z. I am D, and we've got a great show for you tonight.
Yes, we do.
The Knicks lose. Rangers and Hurricanes advance. And Mike Trout is hurt again. But we'll begin today's show with the NFL Draft. It was last week, right after our show, and it was quite interesting. The first 14 picks were offensive players. 6 of those players were quarterbacks. With the number 8 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select quarterback Michael Penix Jr. from Washington. Huh?
Dun 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 dun. Huh?
Z, what? Obviously, Taylor's thinking, I don't know what he's thinking.
I don't know what the hell he's thinking. Yeah. Well, you listen to Terry Fontenot, and he's saying that we got the go ahead from Arthur Blank to do this, to where we can have an overlap with Kirk Cousins and the quarterback of the future. Okay, you just invested $180 million in Kirk Cousins, $100 million of which is guaranteed, on a guy whose leg exploded last year. And now you have a 23, soon to be 24-year-old quarterback whose leg has exploded in the past. Now, you're going to sign him up for the rookie deal, 4 years, pretty standard stuff. And you're telling me he's not going to sniff the field? Come on. That's absolutely ridiculous. I understand the concept of draft and stash in the NBA. I'm taking an 18-year-old Lithuanian. We're going to let him develop overseas, and then I'll bring him over when he's 21. That's not the case here. You have a guy. Now, there's a guy who's 23. He's a grown-ass man. He's a grown-ass man with significant injury history. He has a significant injury history, and you are taking him to pair with your aging alleged superstar who you just paid a boatload of dough. And you did not address the issues that you had, namely defense. You need defense. They drafted Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan, all at the 8th pick, and they had the 8th pick again. I don't think that this pick moves them off of the 8th pick. I think we're right back here next year in the 2025 NFL Draft, and the Atlanta Falcons are taking it 8 again. Now, what the hell are you going to do then? Right? Okay, you got the quarterback of the future, but your present is fucked. Your present is absolutely fucked because you did not address this team. Come on now. Like, what are you? What are you? This is an identity questioning pick. Now, you got Raheem Morris there. He's trying to make the best of it. Raheem is like, you know as well as I do, he's like, I'm a defensive guy. So, like, I want Dallas Turner. Give me Dallas Turner. Give me something. Give me something I can work with, right? I have these alleged weapons. I have Kirk Cousins. Offense is fine, man. The offense is fine. Give me something I can sink my teeth into on defense. They haven't had a guy with double-digit sacks since Vic fucking Beasley.
That guy.
That's all you need to know. Vic Beasley. So, it's a head-scratcher. It's an absolute head-scratcher. I mean, kudos to Michael Penix. He's going to get paid. He's going to get paid to be a clipboard jockey for a few years. So, more power to him. But, obviously, Taylor's thinking, yeah, I don't know.
I just think it's funny because I think Kirk Cousins is a Christian guy, and I could just picture him and his wife Julie watching the draft and seeing the pick and him saying, "The fuck did he just say?" Like, what the fuck? Why would you give Cousins $100 million if you were planning on drafting Penix? This is the thing that bothers me, was if you listen to what they said, they flew to Washington earlier this year, spoke with him, and after speaking with him, decided right then and there that they were going to take him. Okay. So then why did you go and get Kirk Cousins if you were thus... Like, I can honestly think maybe, okay, a month ago you're like, you know what, we're gonna need a quarterback. Maybe we should get a quarterback in the draft. Okay, all right. Now you decided the last minute.
Fair.
But man, if you knew this months ago, why not shop the pick? Who the fuck else was gonna take Penix Jr. at 8 or higher? Like.
The Denver Broncos.
The Broncos were not going to take Penix. That's not what Sean Payton wants. The Minnesota Vikings weren't.
I'm not sure.
Penix.
No.
And,
they were JJ McCarthy all the way.
And Z, even if they did, you still would have got JJ McCarthy, which is not terrible.
Yeah.
Not
terrible, but not the 10th overall pick.
No, you could have traded back because after McCarthy was taken, Bo Nix was taken after that, right? Bo Nix was taken at 12. When was the next quarterback taken?
Spencer Rattler.
At the third round, right? The fourth round? Something stupid like that.
New Orleans.
So even if Denver takes McCarthy, or even if Denver took Penix, you still could have got Bo Nix. That's not bad. That's not terrible. And guess what? You could have got Bo Nix in rounds 1 through 3.
Completely. That's the thing.
It's just a fail. It's a fucking fail. This is what happens when you don't understand how to work the draft, because you could have got trade capital. If you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt you were going to take Penix at 7 or 8 or wherever he was, then you use that to your advantage. These motherfuckers didn't know.
Yeah.
Nobody else knew. Nobody else knew who they were taking until after the first guy came off the board. But you guys, you knew you were taking Penix, and you didn't use that to your advantage. And that's just a shame. It's a shame. And that's why you're right. They'll be picking in the top 10 for the next several years. It's because look at the terrible dynamic you just set up. I'm not trying to put race in this at all, but Kirk Cousins is a white man who's in his mid-30s. He's going to relate to a locker room in Atlanta with a young quarterback who's African-American coming into that locker room in Atlanta, of all places. Come on, man. You're setting it. You're just going to create a disaster. If Kurt's having a tough...
Kirk Cousins has no problem. He has no problem making fun of himself, though. If you saw him with the chains and the glasses and the Kohl's cash,
but Z,
I think he'll fit in fine, man.
He's not going to win the locker room. He's not going to win the locker room.
They're not going to win games. Forget the locker room. They're not going to win games because they don't have a defense.
And that's not going to make it any easier. Because if we're losing with Kirk, we could fucking lose with Michael Penix. What does it matter who we're losing with at that point?
They could have lost with Spencer Ritter, with Desmond Ritter.
They
did lose with Desmond Ritter.
Desmond Ritter was so bad that they paid Kirk Cousins $100 million and drafted Michael Penix with the number 8 pick. That's how bad Desmond Ridder is. The only quarterback I actually invested in the draft last year. What a disaster!
Marion Joseph.
You could have got.
You
could have got anybody. Fuck, you could have took Brock Bowers. Yeah. You could have had Pitt and Bowers. That would have been nice. Latu, the Jets drafted a left tackle. You could have got any of these guys. Then you said Dallas Turner, an edge rusher. Why not trade back?
Right. You could have taken
the center,
a corner.
You
could have taken a linebacker
from Duke.
Yeah.
Hell of a center.
Yeah.
For Bijan.
Yeah. Right? Open up some holes.
Fuck.
Keep Kirk Cousins and his rebuilt leg on the upright.
Fuck.
Makes sense to me.
Michael Penix Jr. on AstroTurf?
Between two of them, they have 2 functioning legs. So the Atlanta Stadium is where ACLs go to die.
This is a winnable division. There's no home run hitters in this division.
No. Even Tampa Bay. Like, Tampa Bay gives me a little bit of pause, Like, what are they going to be? This was the division. I mean, offensively, they can still do it. It's defense, and you had an opportunity to make that defense better, and you whiffed. Now, could you have gotten Michael Penix in the second round? I think so. Yeah. Could you have gotten Bo Nix in the second round? I think so. I think that the Broncos were so hard on for a quarterback that once J.J. McCarthy got taken, once the Vikings jumped them, they're like, fuck, we got to take someone.
Well, I think what was happening, this is what I truly believe, I think the Broncos and the Vikings were calling the Jets and trying to move up.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it came down to. It was just, timing. And that's why Denver's like, fuck it, just take him now. Like, fuck it, we fucked this up. Because I think they wanted JJ. But as I mentioned, 6 quarterbacks were taken in the first round of the draft. Teams just don't learn. Penix to Atlanta, Williams to the Bears, Drake to New England, Jaden Daniels to the Commanders, McCarthy to Minnesota, Nix to Denver Broncos. Z, who will have the biggest impact next season, and who you think is going to struggle based on where they were drafted?
Okay, so let's take a look. Let's just go through this. Penix is not going to start. Plain and simple. He's a clipboard jockey. If the only reason he starts is because Kirk Cousins
Well, you're saying he's not going to start game 1. Are you saying he's not going to start?
I don't think he starts. I don't think he starts. He may start like week 18. There you go.
So you think they're going to be in it?
He has to play.
They'll be in it all the way up until week 18.
I think you've invested $100 million guaranteed in Kirk Cousins. That motherfucker's going to play.
Okay.
Coach, I have one bad leg. I got one good leg. Too bad. $100 million. Get the fuck out of it. You can pay for it. You can pay for a good doctor. Caleb Williams is going to play. He's going to get a lot of burn. The question is, can he be the best Chicago Bears quarterback since Jim McMahon, who was the best Chicago Bears quarterback since Sid Luckman? Mm-hmm. That's a lot of history going up against you. When the second best quarterback of modern Chicago Bear history is Jay Cutler, you got a problem. So, Caleb Williams has a lot to fight against. He's going to get a lot of playing time this year, so he's going to get a chance to fight these demons. He's going to get a chance to exercise these demons. Drake May, that palate cleanser, man. He's not Mac Jones. So he's going to get a little bit more wiggle room, as is Gerard Mayo, because they are rebuilding. The fans recognize that they're rebuilding, and there's going to be grace. So Drake May, if he wins the job at a training camp, he's going to get a grace period.
Drake May in New England?
Drake May in New England, yep.
Who the fuck is going to beat Drake May out for the job in New England? Bailey Zappi?
Zappi, Hoyer, who knows? You know, the usual retreads. But, I mean, it's possible he could lose the job. It is possible that he has a shit training camp. We both thought I'm not going to say we all thought, because a lot of people saw Mac Jones being a bust. We thought he was tailor-made for that organization. We were fucking wrong. Plain and simple. Egg on our face, right? Mac Jones, he's the most pro-ready quarterback coming out of Alabama.
I didn't anticipate Joe Judge calling plays and Matt Patricia handling the personnel, Z. Who could have fucking saw that coming?
Well, nobody, because it doesn't make any sense. It's like Bill Belichick took his coaching staff and did like Mad Libs. Okay, so Joe, you're gonna call the run plays today. Steve, you're going to call the pass plays, but I'm the defensive coordinator. It's like, shut the fuck up, son. You're gonna call the pass plays. Yes, Dad. That was a complete clusterfuck. But the organization failed Mac Jones, but Mac Jones did not do himself any favors. Jaden Daniels is interesting. They moved out Sam Howell from the commies, so he's going to get every opportunity. He's an athletic guy. He's got a good arm. He's got speed. He's a little skinny, but I think he's going to be a dynamic player. He's definitely going to get his fair share of time. JJ, it's fucking Denver at this point. Like, come on now. Like, I'm not convinced that Denver knows. It's Minnesota. Excuse me, Minnesota, not Denver. JJ McCarthy. Yeah. So O'Connell, he can coach. He can coach. But if Sam Darnold is the bridge guy, it's either going to be a Kurt Warner situation where JJ doesn't play until week 11, or you're going to sit and you're going to learn, you're going to watch. How impatient are Vikings fans going to be with Sam Darnold? The moment he struggles, are they going to start chanting for JJ? Chances are they're going to, because this team has some aspirations. And then Bo Nix, it's Denver. Again, Bo Nix, Zach Wilson, Jared Stidham, Ben DiNucci. That doesn't... In a division with Patrick Mahomes, in a division with Justin Herbert, I gotta say the Raiders are better than them too, and the Raiders didn't really do anything that's inspiring. So, I don't know. You're looking at Knicks. You're gonna look at as good as Caleb Williams was in college. I think he's gonna have some time. He's gonna need some time to get his feet wet. But Drake May, he's gonna get every opportunity. I think he's gonna do okay. I don't think he's gonna be great. Out of the bunch, I think it's gonna be Jaden Daniels that really steps up, and he's gonna be the guy that is gonna showcase and show out for the Washington Commanders.
Wow, that's a nice vote of confidence. So I'll take this one at a time too, like you did. I think Penix will play. I think about 10 to 11 games into the season, they're going to be done. So I think he's going to get some burn, and I think he'll last 3 games and he's going to get hurt. This is professional football. You barely survived college, so I would imagine he's going to get hurt. Look at Anthony Richardson from last year.
Yeah.
3 games. And you get popped by an NFL linebacker, it's welcome to the NFL, bro. So he goes down. I think Caleb Williams is coming into a great situation. They drafted really well this year, the Bears. I also like what they did getting the offensive guy, the offensive tackle. Forget where he was from. Let's see where he was from. They got a good, from Yale. They already have DJ Moore. They already have running backs. They have a good tight end. They're ready to go. I think he'll have a good season. Not a great season, but I think he'll have a good season. I think he's going to do well.
But could the Bears have done the same thing with Justin Fields? Do you think that they could do the same thing? Could they have the same success building Dunze, drafting the tackle, another year of DJ Moore? Do you think that building around Justin Fields, do you think they could have had the same results and possibly gotten somebody else? Or maybe instead of a Dunze, Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 1.
Yeah,
and then maybe somebody else at number 9.
No, it's
do you think that they, the way they're building it?
It's fair. It's a fair ask. And my answer to that would be, I think the upside for Caleb Williams is higher than the upside for Justin Fields. And it's not only the Bears that have made this decision, but it seems like the whole league has, because everybody in the league viewed Justin Fields as a backup, and even the Steelers haven't picked up his option. So this is a 1-year tryout for him. He might be hitting the road after this year, and that's a team that doesn't have a quarterback. So, everybody seems to see him as something different. So, Drake May, I think he's going to struggle just because there's nobody to throw the ball to in New England, and you got a rookie head coach. The Jets play defense. The Dolphins play defense. Buffalo's a tough place to play. I think it's going to be a tough year for Drake May. And I would probably say Drake May is probably going to have the worst year. And behind Drake May, right in front of Drake May, I think it'll be Jaden Daniels. Everybody's trying to say like he's this dynamic player and he's got a great arm. He needs to sit. A player like him needs to sit. A player like him can't come in and play quarterback on day 1. So unless the plan is to have him be a backup, I think throwing him out there and having him take NFL hits and try to run an NFL pro offense, he ain't Joe Burrow. He ain't Trevor Lawrence.
No, but that's why you brought in Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
That's why the commies brought him in.
Desmond Ridder, how that worked out for him. I think it's
Desmond
fine,
Ritter's.
But I think he's gonna struggle. McCarthy in Minnesota, I think he's gonna play well. I think out of all these quarterbacks, he's the one that's in a good situation, right? He's got a top flight wide receiver. He's playing indoors. He's got a coach that knows how to coach quarterbacks, knows how to coach offense. He's got young talent. So I would say he's in the best situation to succeed. So I would say J.J. McCarthy and Caleb Williams have the best chances to succeed. And I think the problem with Bo Nix is I actually don't think he's going to play. I think Jarrett Stidham's the best quarterback on that team, followed by Bo Nix and then Zach Wilson. I think they bring 3 quarterbacks into the season. I like Jarrett Stidham. I think he's a very good player. So that's where I'm sitting right there. But Atlanta, I don't know.
No, it doesn't. No matter how we go about this, it doesn't make any sense. Now, I mean, we're talking about the first 6 out of the first 12 picks being quarterbacks. So, like, that's what we're working with. Because then the next one is Spencer Rattler.
And what kills me is nobody.
And then you're looking at Milton. Yeah, the drop off is so steep after that.
But nobody learned their lesson. Like, we just saw a draft 2 or 3 years ago, where all the guys are playing on different teams this year. Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, all those guys did not work out. Justin Fields, all those guys did not work out in the place where they went. But you all still decided to draft 6 quarterbacks in the first round? Huh? What? Whatever.
Step outside of your safe area and make a statement without saying much with FCK Clout Lifestyle Apparel. Embrace the colorful chaos and stay emotionally regulated in their hoodies, snapbacks, graphic tees, accessories, and more. Season 3 merch is up now. Get it while you can. Go to fckclout.com and get all of your needs from men and women. That's fckclout.com.
I shut off the Knicks game with 30 seconds left last night. Did I miss anything? Seemed like the Knicks had the game in hand. I saw OG get a breakaway steal. Looked like the Sixers were mailing it in. Embiid got stripped on another play. They were down by 6 with less than 30 seconds left. I changed it over. I went and watched Pirates of the Caribbean. All joking aside, did the Knicks just let the 76ers back into the series, or is this a matter of time before the Knicks wrap this up?
It's kind of hard to say that they didn't, right? It's kind of hard that, in an elimination game, which Joel Embiid is not exactly great at, they came into Madison Square Garden and took it from the Knicks. Very similar fashion, the way the Knicks went down to Philly and took it from the Sixers. Like, these guys are taking each other's lunch money. Like, this is how it's becoming. Now, when we look at the surrounding cast, the Sixers need Tyrese Maxey to do, plain and simple. Tyrese Maxey needs to be that second guy. They need him to deliver 46 points like he did. They need him to rise to the level of where Joel Embiid usually is. Now, Embiid is hurt. He's hurt. Understood. Got that. That's when your role players need to come in. This is when your Kelly Oubres need to come in. This is when your Maxies need to come in. This is when your Nicholas Batums need to come in. This is where that becomes an issue. Now, the Knicks are a very good team. Can they take Game 6 and put this all behind them? Sure, absolutely. But what do they need to do? They need to shut down Joel Embiid as they did before. They need to neutralize Tyrese Maxey, and Jalen Brunson needs to keep doing what he's doing, because Jalen Brunson has been lights out of late. Now, who can be the person that steps up? Defensively, you're looking at OG Anunoby. Like, he's a defensive stud. Like, that's what you got him for. So, go ahead. Like, unleash the beast. And offensively, I gotta say, it's probably going to be Josh Hart. Either Josh Hart or Dave has to step up, because it can't just be the Jalen Brunson show. If it's a one-man show, you're going home. You have built this season as a team. You have played defense as a team. You have scored as a team. You've rebounded. You've out-rebounded the Sixers. You've bullied the Sixers down low. Now, the Mitchell Robinson thing is an issue. And Joel Embiid, I'm surprised he wasn't assessed a flagrant for yanking on Mitchell Robinson's ankle. Kind of dirty. Just kind of. Well, whatever. That's playoff basketball, Susan. So, can the Knicks bring this home? Yes. Have they ceded home court advantage? Yes, they have. Right? It's been pretty even. Both teams have a game on the other's court. It's about who can come up big in the biggest moments. And this is the moment that you paid Jalen Brunson for. This is his moment. It's time for him to shine.
Here's the problem, Z. The problem is that the Game 6 is in Philadelphia. And after all the shit that the Knicks talked, or Knicks fans really talked in Game 4, where they pretty much bought out where the 76ers play, and they were chanting, MVP, while Brunson was dropping over 40 points on the Sixers. The Sixers fans are not going to let that happen again.
They better not.
So you're going to go have an extremely hostile atmosphere, environment tomorrow night. And if the Knicks are not able to win tomorrow night, then you're talking about Game 7. Madison Square Garden, where anything could happen, bro. Like, anything could happen. Like, I'm talking about Nick Batum going off, Lowry going off, Tobias. Like, anything can happen in a Game 7. I think it would behoove the Knicks to do their best to close this thing out tomorrow night. The fact that they let the Sixers come back in Madison Square Garden with 30 seconds left in the game, up by 6, just goes to show you that no lead is safe. And I have concerns. So when you're asking the question, did they let them back into the series? Yeah, I think they did open the door, and now you run the risk of anything happening. Jalen Brunson turning an ankle, or Mitchell Robinson hurting his Achilles, or DiVincenzo spraining a wrist. You run the risk of someone getting hurt in the game and really affecting Game 7.
Well, you also have to take into account that Tyrese Maxey played like above and beyond, right? 46 in 52 minutes, 46 points, 9 assists, 5 boards. No close. It was the Tyrese Maxey show. Like, Joel Embiid was below 20. Tobias Harris was below 20. Like, they need, if they're going to do this, they need more than one guy. Right? If Maxey's putting up 50 points and you get blown out by 20, it doesn't matter. Like, Joel Embiid has to show up, and Joel Embiid has to play like the back of his basketball card, because he's the guy that's got to make it happen. Can we expect 46 from Tyrese Maxey every? No. Nor should it be expected of him, right? It cuts both ways. Fans shouldn't expect it of him, and he shouldn't expect it from himself. He shouldn't have to do that. He's like, fuck, man, I gotta put up 50? For us to only win by 6? Come on. Like, I gotta put up 46 and we only win by 6 in overtime?
Oh, but
like, something's gotta give.
You're on the road. You're in Madison Square Garden. Your best player's hurt. There's a lot of other factors that factored into them only winning.
Yeah, that's fair.
The fact that they won is still impressive, man. I mean, they shouldn't have won that game.
Yeah, I mean, they're injured. The Knicks have injuries too, right? You have Mitchell Robinson, you have Julius Randle, you have guys on both sides. So at this time of the year, the injuries, like, it's not a valid excuse for this. So, even like Milwaukee, like Giannis and Lillard are out. Giannis and Lillard are scuffling a little bit. They're battling. Somebody else has to step up. And if that's Chris Middleton, that's Chris Middleton. If that's, anybody else, like, this is the time that your team reveals itself, right? So, like, if these guys are scuffling or if these guys are hurt, does a Paul Reed, right? He talked a little bit of shit. Is this the guy that's gonna just a little modicum of shit? Is he? Or is Nicholas Batum the guy? Is Kyle Lowry the guy that's going to step up? Like, this is where your playoff identity reveals itself. And like, the Knicks were in for a fight, right? Philly was in the play-in tournament, but they were in the play-in tournament because they were missing Embiid. Right? They slid down because they didn't have their best player for a good chunk of the season. So, like, this is a formidable matchup, and they're not your mother 7 seed, right? Like, we thought that, the Miami Heat's not your mama's 8th seed, but they're proving to be your mama's 8th seed. So, yeah, they're getting waxed. So, well, listen, and that's without Porzingis.
Yeah. So we had a few...
kudos to you on that one, by the way. You nailed that.
That's what I do. had a few sweeps in the endless NBA playoffs, and we had one end in 5 games. The Suns were swept out of the playoffs by the Timberwolves, and the Lakers were beat for the second year in a row by the Nuggets. The Lakers are now 1-8 against the Nuggets in the last 9 playoff games they've played against them. Who has a better chance of winning a title next year, Kevin Durant or LeBron James?
Well, riddle me this, Batman. Who is going to pick up LeBron James when the Lakers they trade down that $1 million option? Because if I'm the Lakers and it's an option, I have there's an opportunity to get out of this.
Well, hold on. He opts out, right? He can opt out.
I would say he opts out.
He definitely opts out.
Because at the end of the day, like, he's already laying the groundwork for it, right? He's already like, oh, where am I going to play? Are they going to take Bronny? I got to worry about my legacy. Like, if I'm the Lakers, I'm kind of like nudging him. Like, I'm kind of like, yeah, LeBron, I don't know. Like, maybe you need to go someplace else, maybe a little greener pastures. I think we need to rebuild. We need to rebuild. This is not working. We need to figure out. Yeah, it's just is not working. It's not you. It's me. It's me. So here's what you decline that option. You can go anywhere you want. We're gonna rebuild. No hard feelings. You got us that bubble championship. Thank you so much. You're going to be forever known as a Laker that's won a championship. That's a unique order up, and we are going to order up where LeBron would end up if the option is not, if he does not kick in that option. Durant is a little bit of a different situation, right? Now, that team was supposed to be the super team. Oops. That was a huge miscalculation by Matt Ishbia. I'm going to bring in Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and pair them with Devin Booker, and I'm going to get rid of DeAndre to steamroll guys. Well, the funniest comparison I heard, I forget who it was in Around the Horn, but it was Matt Ishbia put this team together like a 10-year-old kid playing 2K. I'm just going to load it up with as many offensive players as I can and just try and outscore everybody. That's the goal. And it did not work. 6th seed got bounced by the T-Wolves, and now you're looking for your mouthpiece. I gotta say LeBron's got a better chance because I can see teams, particularly teams, I get he's out there in the West for his businesses, but I can see teams in the East trying to make a run at him. Right? I can see like a reunion with Miami for one last go. I can see that. I could see like you can see. I can definitely see him in New York. Right? Free agency. The Knicks have always courted him. They've always been dancing around when they can get him. Now that they don't need him, that's when he'll come. Now that he'll be the parsley on the plate. So, I can see him in a bunch of different places. So, I think that Durant's going to have a harder time, for sure. LeBron is going to be able to pick his spot. That freedom, if he declines his option, is what's going to give him the edge over KD, because both teams are cooked. As presently constituted, both teams are cooked. They ain't win shit. So, I gotta say that LeBron can call his shot a little bit more than KD can at this point.
Yeah, it's... here's the problem, is like with Kevin Durant, right? Kevin Durant's played on some really, really good teams. And the only time he's ever won is when he joined a team that had already won a championship. It was when he joined the Warriors. And that was the only 2 times that he won. Remember, he was on an OKC team that had, they had Perkins, Ibaka, Westbrook, Harden. They won Ugats. And then He's on the Phoenix Suns, who have Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, and they got swept by the Timberwolves. Yeah, there's a basketball team in Minnesota called the Timberwolves.
They have been relevant since Marbury and Garnett.
So, that's where I'm standing with Kevin Durant. Plus, you have $150 million tied up in 3 players in Phoenix. And Phoenix doesn't have a draft pick for the next, 6 years. How crazy is that? Bradley Beal has a no trade.
That's insane.
Devin Booker is probably the best he's the best asset on the team. And then
he's the one who's going to get you your first round pick back,
right,
though.
And then Kevin Durant really don't get me wrong. People would take Kevin Durant, but are you going to win with Kevin Durant? I don't know.
Nope.
He hasn't won yet. He played with Kyrie Irving and James Harden. They couldn't work it out. So it's hard to picture a scenario where Kevin Durant were to come out on this on top, unless he some way got back to the Warriors, but the Warriors aren't the same Warriors anymore. And I don't even know if he'd want to do that. Now LeBron's got options. We've seen LeBron be the only player on a team lose, create a super team, win, go back to a team of nobodies and win, come out to LA and win with street clothes. So LeBron can make it work, right? If he's on a team that's close, like say the 76ers, the Heat, the Knicks, he's on a team that's close. I could totally see him getting to the finals because he still can play.
Yeah.
You watch him, he still can play. He isn't slowed down. He could do everything he's accustomed to doing. It almost looks like it's boring to him right now. So he could play. But if you're gonna
But do you have to make the bargain with Durant that you have to make with LeBron? Right? Because when you make a deal with LeBron James, it comes with a lot of strings.
Yeah.
Now, are you willing to put up with those strings for LeBron at age 40? It's not LeBron at age 30. LeBron at age 40.
I think certain teams would. Daryl Morey of the 76ers is going to do it.
Yeah.
The New York Knicks could do it. Pat Riley going to do it. Dallas might be the sleeper in all
That's
this.
a move.
Because they have draft capital and they've got players. Luka, Kyrie, and LeBron.
Yeah.
Woo! That could happen.
That's impressive.
Avoid messy accidents. Get better stopping power with your brake pads. Callahan brake pads. You never know when you'll be driving in the road and there will be a truck tire that you need to avoid and save your family. Callahan Auto. We really care about what's under your hood.
As we talked about, the NBA playoffs is a marathon, not a sprint. But a much more exciting playoff is going on, and that's the NHL playoffs. We're heading into the second round now, and the games have been fantastic. All of them have been great. The Rangers swept the Capitals, and the Hurricanes took care of the trash that's from Long Island. So how can the Rangers get by the Hurricanes?
Nobody said it's going to be easy. Nobody said it's going to be easy. What do the Rangers do very well? They're very good in open space. They're very good with speed, transition, and they're getting you off your toes. Now, what the Rangers are also good at, and what they've been doing lately, is they've been actually able to get the puck deep, penetrate zones, and cycle. All of this could be a mirage because, right, a negative 37 point differential. This could just be smoke and mirrors. This could just be fool's gold. They are going to be playing a better defensive team in the Carolina Hurricanes, but I think that they've unlocked something here. Getting deep with Goodrow and VZ and our man Rempe. who showed amazing discipline, right? Tom Wilson's poking the bear. He's like, fuck off, look at the scoreboard. That's a mature player beyond his years. A young player is always going to be willing to drop the gloves. Matt Rempe actually was ashamed, and Tom Wilson was the one acting like an asshole, which for Tom Wilson isn't that hard. It's not that big of a jump.
You mean Tom Wilson was just being himself?
Right. No, Tom Wilson was being himself. It's like Brad Marchand licking
Tom
people.
Wilson.
Bingo. Exactly. Tom Wilson's being Tom Wilson. Now, what showed me something is that the Rangers were able to shut out Ovi. Not a single point in the playoffs. So that's impressive. That is impressive. So defensively, the Rangers are there. They're there as a unit, not just defensemen. The forwards are buying in as well. You have Panarin being physical. You have, the whole team pushing in the right direction. For the Rangers to beat the Hurricanes, they have to maintain this aggression. They also have to get the pucks deep. They have to cycle. They have to wear out Carolina. Is a very good team, and they are going to do the dirty work, right? They're going to get in there and they're going to muck it up, and they're going to try and win those battles down low, because that's what they do. And then you'll have guys like Aho, you'll have Teravainen, you'll have all of the guys that we know and love in Carolina that do what they do. So if the Rangers are going to win this series, this is a 6 or 7 game series. 6 or 7. Like there's no sweep here.
7.
This is 6 or 7.
Seven games,
I'm leaning towards 7 as well. 7 as well. Yeah. Now, get pucks low, work, cycle, make them make mistakes. Make Carolina make mistakes, make them take penalties, exploit that. Because they can be had. What you can't do is just start chasing them all over the ice. Be disciplined, maintain your zone, keep your sticks on the ice, and just go from there. Now, 7 games. This is evenly matched. As evenly matched as you're going to face. The one true edge the Rangers have, Shesterkin in goal.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, you keep... Igor's going to steal you at least a game. At least one. Somebody else is going to have to step up and take a game. And then the other 2 are going to be won as a team effort. But Rangers in 7. But it is going to be a fight for it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it goes 7 games. The Hurricanes are number 1 against the power play, and that's where the trouble lies, right? And that's the whole thing. You gotta be vigilant against them. You can't be fouling like crazy. You can't be committing penalties. You gotta stay out of the box, and play sound defense. They take advantage of other teams' mistakes better than any team in the NHL. And they're big. They're all very big. I see it going 7 games. I think they can beat them. And yeah, I agree with you. It's going to come down to goaltending because they're evenly matched everywhere. And they're a well-rounded team, just like the Rangers are a well-rounded team. And everybody's got to come to play every game. I mean, of course, it's a cliche. Of course, everybody has to come to play. No, I mean it. Like, in the Islanders series, the Hurricanes didn't show up every game, and they still slapped the shit out of them. In this thing, everybody really needs to come to play. If you don't come to play, and no lead is safe. No lead is safe.
No.
3 goals, 2 goals, third period, it don't matter. It does not matter. Because the
Hurricanes have another gear.
They play 60 minutes. They play 60 minutes, regardless of the score. They finish their checks. They know how to get out in open space, and they're ready. Let's be real, Z. They're ready. They've been knocking on this door for 3 years now. both teams have really. Both teams have been really close, but they can taste it right now. They can taste it. They have a great coach.
Completely.
They have a great coach. Rangers have a good coach too, and they want it, and they can all taste it because there's nobody out. There's no world beater out there this year. There's no even Boston's in it, but Boston might not even make it out of this round. In the West, Dallas, Oilers, all beatable. There's no world beaters this year. It's up for the taking, and hopefully,
this is the series.
This is it.
I agree with you. The firepower you're going to face, it's comparable, and plus they have Kuznetsov, right? We didn't even mention the fact they got Kuznetsov from the Capitals, so that's pretty damn impressive, right? Svechnikov, Kuznetsov, they're loaded. Gensel from the Penguins, Gensel does the dirty work. He fits this team like a glove. And you know what? The Rangers are going to have to fight ghosts of playoffs past, right? They're going to have to go through an ex-Capital. They're going to have to go through an ex-Penguin. They're going to have to go through, Brady Shea, a former Ranger. You're going to have to go through a team that is just as good as you are. Now, no shame. If you go out in 7, no shame. Carolina is just as good of a team as you. I gotta say that this is definitely going to be the most exciting series we have left until we get to the Stanley Cup, and then all bets are off. Just for the potential of what's awaiting on the other side. Dallas is formidable. Edmonton is formidable. Vancouver is formidable. You still have firepower in the West. Colorado is formidable. They've recently raised the cup. So, Vegas is still in it. Like fucking Vegas, they just won't play. It's amazing. Do you love brownies? Of course you love brownies. But you know what's better than a brownie? A delicious, handcrafted, gourmet brownie delivered right to your doorstep. That's what our guys at Sweet Life Brownie Co. offer. Chef Tommy D and the crew offer a dozen delicious delights that you will crave, from the classic OB to Dutch apple to campfire s'mores and many more. Check out their website, sweetlifebrownieco.com, for their Friday brownie drops. At noon, their site goes live and you see what they're making. Since you're there, become a site member and earn points. You earn 50 points just by signing up. Make sure you follow on Instagram and Facebook too, at sweetlifebrownie_co, for the latest updates and their latest releases and creations. That's sweetlifebrownieco.com. Give them a call, 845-641-3043, and tell them D&Z sent you. That's sweetlifebrownieco.com, 845-641-3043. Sweet Life Brownie Co., because there's always room for a brownie.
One person who's going away again, Mr.
That
Trout.
Train's never late.
Mike Trout is hurt again. And the simple question is now what? Because now they can't even trade him. What's this guy's legacy gonna be, man? Like what? This is a mess. But the other thing is I don't even know how much it is a mess. It is what it is. Like, he's okay with it. He's okay with who he is as a player. I believe like he's top 5 in batting average. I want to say he's like top 5 in home runs. Like, he's having a really good year, but he's having a Mike Trout year. And by June or July, he's hurt. He's only 32 years old, but I don't know why people are surprised. I wasn't surprised when I read it this morning or yesterday, whenever I read it.
220 with 10 homers. You can't be surprised because this is his move, right? But 220 with 10 home runs. That's what we're lauding right now. That's it.
Like 15
really?
RBI.
That's what we're doing?
He's got like 15 RBI.
Yeah, something like that. He's on. I read a statistic. He was on pace for 55 homers and 78 ribbies. That's all you need to know. So, we're going to talk about meaningless home runs. Come on now. That's pretty meaningless. 55 homers and 78 ribbies. There you go. the Angels are a flawed baseball team. The best thing they could have done was get rid of Mike Trout and rebuild and try to fix this thing that's been broken for years. But nobody was willing to accept that it was broken. But it's fucking broken. And he's broken. He's physically broken. How many times does Mike Trout need to go?
It's always something.
It's always something.
He broke like a small bone in his wrist. Didn't even know that bone existed.
But I think he's had a hamate bone at one point.
Yeah. Now it's his meniscus. Next year it'll be plantar fasciitis.
He's had leg problems before.
It's always going to be something.
He's had back problems.
He's just...
Yeah, no, it is always something. And this team had aspirations of something. I don't know what. But, it was time.
Yeah.
And it won't be time. It won't be time to move on because, what's his timetable?
Yeah, I don't...
It's a meniscus. It's not like, that's a problem. You have to run in baseball. So that's a problem.
Has he played his last game in an Anaheim, a Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim jersey?
I don't think so. I think he'll come back. Either they'll showcase and they'll move him finally, or in true Mike Trout fashion, he'll play for like a week and hurt himself again.
Yeah.
And then, that's the thing. It's ridiculous. And,
baseball,
I gotta say the Angels were...
Baseball. How are you getting hurt so hard playing baseball? It's a non-contact sport. What the hell are you doing?
Well, when you're built like Mike Trout and your muscle to fat ratio, and you're constantly a finely tuned athlete like that, and you're just jacked, it's bound to happen. And it's a soft tissue issue, it's muscles, it's ligaments. They're like rubber bands. Eventually you hit your wear and tear. And that's when Mike Trout, outside of the broken bones, it's a lot of wear and tear type injuries. And it sucks because he's a very good baseball player. Mike Trout is a very good baseball player. I'm not going to dispute that. I would be a fool to dispute that Mike Trout is a good baseball player. His legacy is the legacy of Joel Embiid. What could have been. And I don't want to hear, he puts up all these numbers. Numbers are fucking meaningless. Numbers are meaningless. Right? What are you remembered for? I'm sorry. Putting up excellent numbers on mediocre to bad teams, you're going to be forgotten in history. That's wonderful that he's put up so many great numbers. Your career is going to be utterly forgettable. But then you're going to be like, Pete Rose and Ichiro and this and that and the third. Pete Rose has a World Series under his belt. Right? He won. And Ichiro is an outlier because in Japan, he was as big of a star, if not a bigger star. So that was a 2-country star. So I think Bryce Harper is going to fall into the same thing if he doesn't win. I think you're going to end up in a scenario of, that's nice, moving on. That's what stat compilers end up being. That's nice, moving on. Rafael Palmeiro, another big-time stat compiler. Well, we allegedly know why, but big-time stat compiler. That's nice, moving on. Stat compilers are usually forgotten about, and they become the NEPTA people. Not enough people talk about. Not Gaetti on X. Great follow. And follow us as well, at FadeRouteDNZ. But he does a lot of those not enough people talk abouts. And yeah, like stat compilers. And if Trout and Harper are not careful, they'll just they will absolutely end up in that category.
Are you in need of air care maintenance or service? I have the company for you. Air Care Technicians. They service the Westchester and Northern Bronx area and can help you with all your heating and cooling maintenance and service needs. Just give them a call at 914-315-1547. Again, that's 914-315-1547. Or shoot them an email at aircaretechnicians@gmail.com. These guys are the real deal as they are veteran-owned, licensed, and insured. Make sure to tell them that D&Z sent you.
It's time for the mail route on the Fade Route. If you want to get featured, hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com, or slide in those DMs at Fade Route Podcast on IG, or drop us a line on our Twitter page at Fade Route DNZ. Alright, boys and girls, we have a full mailbox for you today, and if you want your email featured on the Fade Route with D@gmail.com, slide in our DMs on IG at Fade Route Podcast, or drop us a line on X at Fade Route DNZ, and your email could be featured on the mail route. Email number 1, coming from Richie in Cincinnati, Ohio. Hey guys, Ellie Dela Cruz was unofficially clocked at throwing a 106-mile-an-hour toss to first base. Why would anyone throw a baseball that hard to first base?
That's a great question.
Fair question.
I don't know.
It's a fair question.
I don't know. I don't think many first basemen are equipped to handle that. I mean, I know usually they can be in the 90s and the 80s whipping it over to first, but 106? Who the fuck was running to first base that you need to whip it up to 106 miles per hour? I think it's a little ridiculous. I don't think you need to throw that hard.
He crow hopped. It's not even that he was charging the ball and then whipped it over there on the run. He took a crow hop and then just gunned it past the first baseman.
That seems aggressive.
It was. But you know what? That is the youthful indiscretion of a player that does not realize that he doesn't need to do that. And that is the job of the manager. To pull him aside and say,
Son, just come sit next to me.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Come sit next to me.
Son, come here. Come here. We don't need that. If you want to play the outfield, let me know. But he's only 90 feet away from you.
He almost killed him.
And that's another thing.
He doesn't have catcher's mitt, man.
And not to mention, like, the throw got past him. It hit the net. Thank God it hit the net. Right? Can you imagine if we didn't have the nets like we do? Ooh, that would have left a mark.
No. And those catchers.
But the bottom line is this: you don't need to show off your cannon like that.
Right, and
that's the ultimate look at me move.
Those first base mitts are not built for that kind of impact. They're built for scooping, not for handling that shit.
No. Exactly. If you can throw 106, step on the mound, son. There you go. That's it. Be Shohei Ohtani. But there's a time and a place for everything, and that was not it. Email number 2 comes from Sharif in Portchester. Which team had the best draft day, in your opinion?
Which team had the best draft? Well, I do like what the Bears did, but if I'm being, you're not gonna believe this, but I actually think the Arizona Cardinals had a damn good draft.
What?
A damn good draft. First of all, they got Marvin Harrison Jr., right? So they got a weapon for your boy, Kyler Murray. Then they went defense.
Oh, yeah.
They got a pass rusher from Missouri. Then they got a corner from Rutgers. Then they went and got a running back from Florida State. They James Conner's their guy, and he scores touchdowns, but you need a guy that's going to be toting the rock for 10, 15, 20 times a game. Then they went and got a guard from Illinois. I just loved everything they did. That's the first 3 rounds because they had a lot of picks. They had a lot of picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They had 12 picks. 12 picks in the 2024 NFL draft. And I can't say that they had a bad draft. I think they did one of the best.
I mean, that's fair. But he fucking did it again. Howie Roseman fucking did it again. How? Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, you rebuilt your secondary in 2 picks. Fucking Eagles again. Come on now. This is absolutely insane. You gotta like what the Bears are doing for sure. You do have to like what the Bears are doing. All things considered, I like what the Vikings, I like what they did. I don't think they needed to move up to 10 to get J.J. McCarthy, but I do like the fact that they went and got their guy. If that's your guy, go get him. And then Dallas Turner falling to them, and you get the Kevin O'Connell orgasmic face. That was pretty impressive. I gotta say, those were the most impressive, including the Bears. That those are 3 solid moves. The Bowers move, it's a good pickup, but who's your quarterback? That's my concern with that. You got Brock Bowers, play Raiders, but what are you doing with them? All right, best player available. Okay, got it, understood.
They're happy with their quarterback.
O'Connell's not bad.
I just wish he had.
He's not great. He's not
number.
bad.
Why would he take 4? Why would he take Carr's number? Why would he take a different number? Why would you do that?
He's trying to exercise some demons off of the number, I suppose. Of the local teams, they did okay. Nothing really stood out to me as oh my god, such a great pick. But overall, I wasn't. You can't knock the Bears. Yeah.
I wasn't really thrilled.
And
I really wasn't thrilled with what the Jets did.
Yeah.
He's good, but I don't know if he's that good to go that high.
Yeah.
That might have been a trade.
Talent-wise, I don't know. There seemed to be better tackles on the board that you could have taken.
He only allowed one sack.
Once Joe Alton,
he only allowed 1 sack, I think, last year. But he wasn't going up.
Right, but you know what? Mekhi Becton was a wall in college too.
Oh God,
Evan Neal was a wall in college.
Fucking Jets thanked him today as he walked out the door.
Again, for
everything.
what?
What the fuck are you thanking him for? Robbing you? Wasting your time? He should be thanking you for
and where does he go?
So fucking high.
And when he becomes a stud tackle and replaces Lane Johnson,
he's going
because he went to the Eagles.
Yeah, he's going to Philly.
He's on the Eagles. So when he becomes that stud tackle that he was supposed to be, Joe Douglas is going to kick him. But as far as the Malik Neighbors goes with the Giants, I preferred Rome Odunze. He seemed like a Giant in terms of temperament, in terms of character, in terms of production. I understand the need to go best player available, and if he's your best player available, you go for it. I have the bad taste of Odell Beckham still in my mouth. And is this going... I do. I'm sorry. Like, I am one of those guys that I did not need the other shit that came with it. So, and that, to me, that's a Dunze. He's the talent without the shit that comes with it. So, if Malik Neighbors can prove me wrong and prove history wrong, that's great. All power to him. But it gives me a little bit of pause. You hear these reports about character. You hear these reports about difficulty working with him. It gives you some pause. But all of that can be removed once he gets on the field. So we'll definitely see. As another kind of sleeper team that might have had a good day, I thought the Titans did okay. So, I mean, we'll see where it goes. But nobody outside of those three teams, right? You have your Vikings, your Eagles, and your Bears. Like, I'm hard pressed finding a team that did as stellar of a job as those three did. So, in order, I gotta go Vikings 1, Bears 2, Eagles 3. But you can take your pick from any of them, and I think you'd be very happy. I think all the fan bases are extremely happy with their draft results.
Your favorite podcast has its own merch line now. Go to the Fade store with DNZ.com today for all your Fade Route merch needs. I'm talking tank tops, t-shirts, sweatshirts, like yoga pants, we got those too. Like some cool accessories, we got those too. And we're not done yet. We have so much more planned for you, but check out what we have today at the Fade store with DNZ.com. That's the Fade store with DNZ.com.
The Fade Store presents the Alleged Superstar of the Week Award. All right, boys and girls, you know what time it is. It's time for the Alleged Superstar of the poll on our X account and our Facebook. We'll start from the top. All right, boys and girls, you know what time it is. It's time for the Alleged Superstar of the Week. You know how it goes. We put up a poll on our X account at FadeRouteDNZ and on our Instagram poll at FadeRoute Podcast. And you vote, and you vote, and you vote, and the vote, and you vote. And the winner of said vote gets a shout out on this here show and takes home the coveted ass trophy. And you know who took home the coveted ass trophy last week, D?
I do not.
Hunter Wendelstadt.
Yes, another one.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm lighting it up lately.
That's pretty bad. Like that was yeah. That even a blind squirrel finds a nut, right? So that's just a terrible performance and a terrible job. But that was last week. This is this week. Who are your nominees for Alleged Superstar of the Week, D?
All right, so first up, I've got LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and LeBron getting beat by the Nuggets for the second year in a row, this time in 5 games. LeBron is now 1-8 in his last 9 playoff games against the Nuggets. You gotta do better, man. Just do better. Number 2, I've got Kevin Durant, swept out by the Timberwolves. Again, that's a basketball team in Minnesota. $150 million tied to Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and KD. And they have no draft picks for the rest of the decade. And the GM wants to run it back. Good luck, man. Kevin Durant, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. And last but not least, the Dallas Cowboys. You did not draft a running back, so your current running back room consists of, let's see here. Let's see what we got here. We got Zeke Elliott, Rico Dowdle, Royce Freeman, Deuce Vaughn.
Oh my God.
Malik Davis, Snoop Connor, Nathaniel Pete. Not looking good for the Dallas Cowboys in 2024. Dallas Cowboys, you are my alleged superstars of the week. What do you got, Zeke?
I mean, solid choices. You really can't go wrong with that. I'm going to start with the Atlanta Falcons. You signed Kirk Cousins to a $180 million contract. You're the guy, right? $100 million guarantee. You're even more of our guy, right? That's a lot of Coles cash. That's a lot of Coles cash that you
Best
can
agent
use
in the game.
Oh my God! To deliver one playoff win. One. So, there's that. And to kind of put the cherry on top, right? You invested all of this money in him. It's a major deal. Then the tampering charges came, if you guys recall. The Falcons were accused of tampering.
Forgot about that.
So that's fun. And then they draft a quarterback at number 8. Huh? How the hell do you sell this? Terry Fontenot tried. I'll give him credit for trying, I guess. But you invest $100 million guaranteed $180 million total in a guy that you expect to take you to the promised land, and then you draft his replacement in the same year? Probably 2 months after you sign him? Yeah, and you expect him to be cool with that? Cousins said he was confused. Lots of people are confused. You're not alone, Kirk. Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, you're a draft day loser. I'm sorry. You had so many other things that you needed, and you went for the parsley on the plate. You went for the garnish. Atlanta Falcons, you are my alleged superstar of the week. Number 2, Tampa Bay head coach John Cooper. For comments, after the elimination game where they got trounced 6-1 by the Panthers, Cooper went to the dais, the post conference. He had some grievances to air. 2 goals were disallowed because of goaltender interference, and apparently he didn't see anything there. On replay, you really couldn't see anything either. And his response to that was, well, if this is how we're going to officiate the game, then why don't we put the goalies in skirts? Record scratch. What? Dude. What the hell? Why did you have to say put them in skirts? Is there nothing else you could say? Is there nothing else you could come up with? Saran wrap. Bubble wrap. I just thought of 2 off the top of my head. Why do we automatically need to go to misogyny? Why do we automatically need to go to skirts? That's just ridiculous. Coach Cooper has come out and apologized, but it's still a bad look. So, head coach John Cooper, you are my alleged superstar of the week. And then last but not least, Joel Embiid. The fuck are you doing yanking on Mitchell Robinson's ankle? Number 1. That's pretty goddamn dirty. It's a dirty play. Didn't get called. Is what it is. What? Then you call out the fans when the Knicks take over your building, and you say it was disappointing that the fans didn't show up. Well, Game 5 was the first time you've shown up in an elimination game, so congratulations, Joel. So there you go. Don't write checks your ass can't cash. So we'll see where things go, but you're already picking fights that you may not be able to win. Process that. Joel Embiid, you are my alleged superstar of the week. I think we said our piece. Go to our X account at FadeRouteDNZ. Go to our Instagram account at FadeRoutePodcast and vote. Vote nominee.
Just do better, boys. Just do better.
This has been The Fade Route with DNZ. Thanks for tuning in. Catch our podcast on Wednesday nights on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. So until next time, stay faded, everyone.
Time for us to run the go route. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you like what you heard and want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Rate us 5 stars, leave us a review, turn on subscription notifications, and tell your friends. Spread the word, spread it wide.